High tariffs are a disaster for consumers, plain and simple. They jack up prices on everything, from your morning coffee to the car you drive. You think those foreign goods just pay extra and shrug it off? No, companies pass those costs right down to you, the consumer. It's like taxing your wallet directly. And don't even get me started on how it limits choices. Want that fancy European cheese or top-notch tech from Asia? Too bad. High tariffs make sure you either can't afford it or can't find it at all. This isn't protecting anyone. This is punishing regular people who just want good products at fair prices. Common sense tells us that when consumers suffer, everyone suffers. So stop pretending these tariffs help. They're a total.
Whoa, slow down and look at the big picture. Yeah, prices might go up a bit at first, but that's the price of long-term stability. High tariffs are like a shield against unfair trade practices. Foreign companies often dump products at super-low prices, undercutting our domestic industries. What happens then? Our local factories shut down, jobs are lost, and the economy takes a nosedive. Sure, you might miss out on that fancy European cheese, but what about the livelihoods of American farmers and workers? A stable domestic industry means more jobs, better wages, and a stronger economy. And let's not forget, when domestic industries thrive, they can innovate and compete on a global scale. You call it a scam, but I call it protection. It's about creating a level playing field. Without high tariffs, we're at the mercy of countries that don't play by the rules. So, instead of whining about a few extra bucks on your coffee, think about the long-term benefits for our economy and our future.
Oh, here we go again with the long-term stability nonsense. Musk, you're living in a fantasy world if you think high tariffs protect anyone. They don't shield us, they steal from us. You talk about American farmers and workers like they're thriving under these ridiculous taxes. But guess what? Those same workers are consumers too, and now they're paying through the nose for everything because of your so-called shield. And let's be honest, dumping, that's a boogeyman story to scare people into supporting bad policies. Even if it happens, why should hardworking Americans pay the price by getting ripped off with higher costs? It's not their job to prop up failing industries. It's the government's job to fix whatever's broken without punishing you, the consumer. Don't give me this level playing field garbage either. High tariffs aren't leveling anything. They're just putting hurdles in front of businesses trying to compete globally. Look at history. Every time we've slapped big tariffs on things, it ends in disaster. Remember the Great Depression? Yeah, thanks to Smoot-Hawley, another brilliant idea cooked up by people who think like you. So spare me the lecture about sacrifice for the future. The only thing high tariffs do is make life harder today, while protecting lazy companies that can't innovate or compete. Wake up, Musk. You're defending a losing.
Hold your horses. First off, the long-term stability isn't nonsense. It's basic economics. You act like consumers are the only ones in this equation. What about the jobs that are at stake? When domestic industries are crushed by unfair foreign competition, those workers become unemployed. And unemployed people can't afford to buy anything, let alone your fancy foreign goods. The dumping isn't a boogeyman. It's a real issue. Some countries subsidize their industries to flood our markets with cheap products. That's not fair competition. High tariffs are a way to counter that and force them to play by the rules. As for the Great Depression, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act was a part of a much larger problem. You're oversimplifying history to fit your argument. And let's not forget, we're in a different economic landscape now. You say high tariffs protect lazy companies. That's just wrong. They give domestic industries a chance to grow, innovate, and become globally competitive. Without that initial protection, they're crushed before they even get off the ground. So stop looking at the short-term price tags and start thinking about the long-term health of our economy. High tariffs are a necessary evil to ensure a stable future for all of us.
Oh, please, spare me the lecture on basic economics. You're out of touch with reality if you think slapping high tariffs on goods somehow magically creates jobs or fixes industries. Let me tell you something. Unemployment doesn't drop because you jack up prices for consumers. People lose their jobs when companies can't compete, sure, but your solution isn't helping them. It's just punishing everyone else by making everything more expensive. And don't sit there pretending dumping is some massive crisis that justifies these ridiculous taxes. If foreign countries want to waste their money subsidizing cheap products so they job you a benefit, then great. Let them do it while we save our dollars. Trust me, no one will cry when Americans get better deals than they deserve. You bring up Smoot Hawley like I'm oversimplifying? No, Musk. Sijin Urad rewriting history. That disaster crushed trade and made things worse during the Depression. And guess what? The same principle applies today. You raise tariffs, and suddenly nobody wants to trade with us anymore. It's bad business. Plain and simple. Your argument boils down to protecting losers who can't innovate without hiding behind government handouts. That's not how winners operate. Real companies thrive by being smarter, better, faster, not begging for tariffs to prop them up. So stop defending lazy industries and start thinking about real people trying to live their lives without empty wallets. Thanks to your necessary evil. This isn't stability.
Calm down and think rationally. You think getting better deals on subsidized foreign goods is a win? That's short-sighted. When we rely too much on those cheap imports, our domestic supply chains get decimated. What happens when there's a global crisis and those foreign suppliers can't deliver? We're left high and dry. High tariffs encourage domestic production, ensuring we have a reliable supply of essential goods. As for Smoot Hawley, you're using it as a one-size-fits-all argument. The global economy has changed dramatically since then. Today we have better trade agreements and more sophisticated economic policies. High tariffs now are a strategic tool, not a blunt instrument like in the 1930s. You call domestic industries losers and lazy. That's unfair. Many of them are just facing an uphill battle against countries with unfair trade advantages. High tariffs give them the breathing room to invest in research and development, train their workers, and become more competitive. In the end, it's not about protecting lazy industries. It's about building a resilient economy that can withstand global shocks. And if that means consumers pay a bit more in the short-term, it's a small price to pay for long-term stability.